Which brings us to the current problem with Israel and Hamas. What can a governor do? Foreign policy and military policy and diplomatic policy are federal matters, not for governors, right? Right, but did I show you this letter the other day? I went through it on the live stream that I've been doing, but let me show this letter to you now. It's a letter from Ron DeSantis' appointees running the state university system. So these are universities funded by the state of Florida. I'm going to read a bit to you, but right there, the fact that Ron DeSantis has appointed ideologically sound people to a traditionally left-wing woke domain, right there before I even read this letter to you, I'm telling you this is different than the other governors who probably let the woke teachers union types run the show. So here's a memo. It's from state university presidents. It's two state university presidents from Chancellor Ray Rodrigues, a DeSantis man. Deactivation of National Students for Justice in Palestine. So let me just read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read most of it. During a holy Jewish holiday, the recognized terrorist organization Hamas launched an unprovoked attack on Israel. Among those killed were babies, women, and elderly. To date, approximately 1,400 Israelis have been killed, including 31 American citizens. Okay, so he's just laying out the facts, but watch where he goes with this. Governor DeSantis, our state university system, and the Florida college system have condemned these attacks, okay? Hamas is responsible for this attack and claims it as Operation Al-Aqsa flood. In the wake of the terror, military leaders of Hamas have called for the mobilization of Palestinians in support of the operation. Okay, now he's thinking like a prosecutor here. He's putting forward key facts, and watch how he brings them together. So far you're thinking, okay, so you're telling me what I know. Terrorists committed the crime, the terrorist attack, but he's saying, okay, they admit they did it. They're calling it Operation Al-Aqsa flood, and they called for Palestinians around the world to join. Okay, so where's he going with this? Listen. In response and leading up to a day of resistance, the National Students for Justice in Palestine, National SJP, released a toolkit which refers to Operation Al-Aqsa flood as the resistance, and unequivocally states, quote, Palestinian students in exile are part of this movement, not in solidarity with this movement. You see where he's going? So he's saying the terrorists say, here's what we're doing. It's a project, it's a movement. And this student group is saying, yeah, we're part of it. Well, watch this. Here, he drops the hammer. It is a felony under Florida law to, quote, knowingly provide material support to a designated foreign terrorist organization. And he cites the law. Here, National SJP has affirmatively identified it is part of the Operation Al-Aqsa flood, a terrorist-led attack. They admitted it, and indeed they did say we're going to help. We're part of it. I'll keep reading. The State University System of Florida has at least 2 institutions with active national SJP chapters. These chapters exist under the headship of the National Students for Justice in Palestine, who distributed a toolkit identifying themselves as part of the Operation Al-Aqsa flood. Well, you know where it's going. Based on the National SJP's support of terrorism, in consultation with Governor DeSantis, the student chapters must be deactivated. These 2 student chapters may form another organization that complies with Florida state statutes and universal policies. The 2 institutions should grant these 2 chapters a waiver for the fall deadlines should reapplication take place. So DeSantis is saying, I'm not banning you because you're Palestinian. I'm banning you because you said you're part of this terrorist movement. You can reapply if you take out the "we're with the terrorist" part. So he's not banning them for their opinion. He's banning them for being part of a terrorist group. What we're talking about here is a meaningful, legal, tangible act of power using the law, a law that predates him. It's not censorship. It's not even cracking down on anti-Semitism per se. It's cracking down on those idiots who say, I'll help Hamas. Well, the hell with them. DeSantis has done other things too, less legalistic, more symbolic. There are a lot of Jews in Florida, and Joe Biden took his sweet time getting planes to get citizens out of there when the commercial airlines shut down their flights. DeSantis saw an opportunity to look national and presidential. Here's a tweet he did the other day. Florida's Israel rescue operation has completed 4 rescue flights, bringing nearly 700 Americans home from Israel. 2 cargo planes with 85 pallets of donated supplies have also arrived in Israel, thanks to all who helped make this happen. And then he put out an infographic sending out Florida troopers to guard synagogues is the main thing on the list, arresting any threateners. And it looks like the state itself is going to try to put on state-level sanctions against Iran. I've seen that state level foreign policy before. You gotta, you have to be creative about it. Here, watch Sarah Huckabee, who is the great governor of Arkansas. I really like her. Remember Sarah Huckabee? Just take a look at what she's up to. By the way, we're sending a reporter to Israel, Avi Yamini. In fact, as I speak, he's boarding the plane in Melbourne, Australia, to fly with our cameraman, Benji, to Tel Aviv. He's there to tell the truth about the war. If you want to help us crowdfund his economy class airfare from Australia to Israel for him and for Benji and for their hotel costs and other costs, we're trying to find them a bulletproof vest, for example. Please go to thetruthaboutthewar.com. That's the special website we've set up, thetruthaboutthewar.com. From downtown Toronto, well, uptown Toronto actually, in front of a line of police, this is Ezra Levant for Rebel News.